Wealth is a mindset. Stay with us on this topic. Wealth is a mindset. Wealth in the mind is superior to natural resources. Nations with developed minds are richer than nations with abundance of natural resources. What is in the mind is more expensive than what is buried underneath the earth. By this, I'm referring to the natural resources. For many years, African nations that are very rich in natural resources have continued to depend on other developed nations who don't have as much natural resources like them. You would think that having natural resources buried underneath your ground or earth means that you will become so rich. But we have discovered that wealth in the mind is more valuable than natural resources buried under the earth. What is in the mind is far more worth than what is buried under the earth as natural resources. Those nations invested in their mind, and wealth answered to them, while nations that depend on their natural resources continue to remain in the third world. Developed nations, even without any natural resources, are very rich because they are a producing nation. So production leads to wealth. Leaving your crude natural resources underneath the ground will not bring you wealth. It is refining and processing them that brings you wealth. Developed nations create products, goods, and services. In recent times, they are creating virtual realities, simply called AI, artificial intelligence. All is a product of their mindsets. These are all from the mind. No physical resources. The real wealth is in the mind. Wealth is a mindset. You will agree with me. A royal who is very wealthy but has lost his or her mind has no value for wealth because the wealth is not useful to him or her. And that personality cannot enjoy the wealth. In census, usually done in different nations of the world, no one counts any man who has lost his mind, even if he is alive, because he has no value. When you lose your mind, you have lost value. Hear me. Take all the money that belongs to the rich. The very rich of this world, the Elon Musks, the Bill Gates, the Warren Buffetts, all the billionaires of the world. Take all their money from them. Share it to everyone in the whole world, in every continent equally. Let every human being have the same amount. Something will happen. In a very short period of time, all the monies will return back to their original owners. The reason is simple. A poor mindset cannot create or develop anything, because a poor mindset is a consumer mentality. It's a mentality that is dependent on give me, not a production mentality. Even if you shared all the money equally, the money will return back to the original owners. If you take the people living in a developed environment that is refined to a village setting, and take those in a village setting to a refined environment, another reaction will occur. A drastic change will occur. After a long period of time, the village will become a developed and transformed, refined urban city, while the former developed city will gradually dilapidate and reduce to a commonplace without value. The reason is simple. It is the people that make places. Places don't make people. People develop the places where they live as a result of their mindset that is developed. It's in the mind that develops everything that we do. It's in the mind that all the development takes place. Ever wondered why a new car that is given to a poor mindset is in no time destroyed and there is no value coming out of it? Nothing to write home about. And another person is given a fairly used car, and every time you see the car is looking new because his mindset is refined to maintain it. What is within controls you from without. You don't become rich by earning so much. You become rich by saving so much and investing in reliable businesses with higher returns on the value that you get. There are nations that are ahead and advantaged because other nations, depending on them for everything, has not woken up to their responsibilities. I overheard a story that ensued between two business people. The Asians were talking to this businessman that their prayer is Africa should never wake up. That the day Africa wakes up, the huge margin of profits they are making will be lost. That their prayer every day is Africa should remain asleep so that they can continue to depend on them for production. The day Africa wakes up, that profit margin is lost. The mind is an expensive resource to waste. A mindset that is not reformed is tangled. The word mindset is two words put together, mind and set. What this means is every mind needs a resetting to be current. Mindset means your mind needs to be reset in order to be current. There are nations whose leaders moved money abroad. These funds were huge. And after many years, some of these monies were returned back to those nations. But guess what? There was nothing to show for it. Instead, those nations keep borrowing more and more from these developed nations, thereby remaining in a consumer state, not developing. And they remain third world. How do you explain this? The nations that have the best of crude oil don't have refineries to process it. And nations that don't have crude oil have the best of refineries. Therefore, nations who have crude oil but cannot refine it because they don't have refineries export their crude oil at very low prices to nations who have refineries, and in turn buy it from them at very exorbitant prices, destroying their own economies. They rather process it abroad at very expensive amounts for the benefits of a very few rich and wealthy individuals. Until your mindset is fixed, nothing can be improved. When a genuine leader emerges, a revolution begins. You can take a man away from his village, but you cannot take away his village from him. A mind that is once stretched can never again return to its original position. Exposure is a powerful force that transforms a man, but an insecure mindset prevents this because they don't want others to be better than them. There is no mountain anywhere. Every man's mountain is their ignorance. Remember to like, share, and comment. And I'll see you on the next one.